Hey guys, in this video I want to tell you how you can move your life and fast forward by becoming an action taker. And action, in my eyes, is something that everyone that's seriously interested in his growth has to make like a guiding principle in his life, for the lack of better words. In my last video I spoke about fear of failure and how we need to move past it in order to grow, and action is very closely related to this. Because oftentimes what I realized in my life is, and I still do, I'm trying to work hard on this right now, is I am ending up thinking about ideas, what I want to do, whether in business or in my personal life, and then I'm just trying to think about it, I make plans and so forth, but I have a tendency then to not move into action quickly enough. And what happens is that you lose momentum, or actually you never even build momentum, and so the ideas and the potential you've been thinking about actually never even comes anywhere near its realization. And so it's like a trap, because as long as you keep thinking about stuff, it's not gonna really have an impact on your life unless you take action on it. And if you look at some of the most successful people in the world, and again, success, everybody has his definition for it, but if you look at people who are living like lives of their own dreams, they're all action takers. I think there's very, very few. Maybe there are some kind of yogis in the Himalayas who are taking action like on a different level. I've heard Sadhguru speak about it, but unless we have this kind of capability, as long as we're still, on another level, action is a very important part of our growth. And so the trick with this is that I feel in our mind we always think, okay, we need to prepare, we need to make a plan for something, and unless the plan is perfect, it doesn't make sense to start acting, because there's always more way to improve. And it's a fallacy. The problem is it's a fallacy. It's simply not true, and it doesn't make any sense. Why? Because there's so many things in life that we can only learn and realize when we take action. In the midst of action is where growth and learning happens on a different level than if we just think about stuff or read about it. Reading and thinking, both is absolutely crucial and has its place. Reading is important to get ideas, to get inspiration, to even maybe formulate a plan, and to learn. And thinking has its place. If you know the book Think and Grow Rich and similar others, then you know how important it is that we think in a, conducive and constructive way, and we're using the full capabilities of our minds in order to manifest things in life. But without action, these two things are never even coming to their realization, because there's learning that you can do out of books, and there's realization and growth that can happen out of that, but it's never the same than if you do something and in the doing you have realization. And oftentimes, I don't know if you've realized this, but it can be the same lesson once you read it in a book and it has a certain impact on you, but it's limited. But if you learn the same lesson in your own life by doing something, maybe failing at something, or even if you hear it from somebody telling you about it, it has all different levels of impact. And the level of impact when you experience something in your life is the highest. Now, this doesn't mean you should do all the mistakes in the world on your own. That would be stupid. But you have to make experiences in order to really put your growth and your progress on fast forward. There's so many things you can't even anticipate. When we make plans, there's so many things you would never even think about. And you can't even figure them out because sometimes we have to move forward step by step, and as we walk, things appear on our path. New people we meet, new books we find, new ideas that come, new opportunities, which would have never come if we hadn't started to move forward. And also, moving is always like associated with risk, and it's like a kind of the thing with action is it's never really super perfect and clean. It's always a mess, actually. And we have to start actually appreciating that messy process. It's like always learning and readjusting, optimizing. It's never going to be perfect, and to think and expect it to be perfect is a super fallacious illusion. But we still grow in the process. That's the thing. That's the most important thing. Even if the action is completely imperfect, we still grow, and at the end, that's the most important thing. So for example, I have like this thing here. It's like a wristband. It says "Do it now," and this is for me an important reminder that I need to get into action mode. Oftentimes in the day, if I read too much, okay, now do something about it. Make a phone call, whatever. Start executing. And this is not only about business. This is really about anything in life. Growth happens on so many levels, and if you focus only on one level but leave all the others out, then I feel we're not growing at the same pace than if we grow holistically in all areas of our lives. So action is dirty, action is messy, but if we appreciate the messiness of it, then it can become fun, because it also takes away the pressure. One thing I can recommend to all of you is do improvisation theater, something where you actually play some scenes which are not even prepared, so you make it up on the spot, and you learn to allow yourself to make mistakes and to fool around, not take yourself too serious. And it's a great way to learn to do rather than to think and to prepare. It's an extreme, it's a lot of fun, and it can teach you a lot of things. So do something. Make sure that there's a balance between action and planning. And I think usually this balance is on the planning side, not on the action side. Alright guys, think about maybe one or two things that you have been putting off on acting, that you've been thinking for a while that you should do, but you have only been thinking about it, and maybe you've been planning for a long time but you haven't done anything. And if you have one or two things, I want you to share them in the comments below. Tell me what are the things that you've been putting off and what are you deciding on to take as a next step. Alright? And remember, it can be small steps, one at a time. Think about a concrete thing you can do today, and then tomorrow, and then the day after. Like Buddha said, even the largest journey will begin with one step. So what's going to be the one step for you on something that you've been put off for a long time? Please leave a comment. I would really love to read them. And leave a thumbs up if you like the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel. I see you next week. Bye guys.